Morning everyone, rise and shine. Guess what time it is? It is time for Fabulous Over 50 Wednesday morning. How is everybody? Today I'm bringing you the long-awaited, long-promised actually on my behalf, my video on how to contour and to create a lifted face, an instant facelift basically. So, without further ado, you know the drill, ladies. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and if you're across the pond, a glass of wine or a glass of champagne, and let's get busy. Off we go. See you in a bit. Okay, so let's get started. Hopefully this will be close enough. As I mentioned, I'm borrowing my son's camera. Now, my foundation is on. My eyes are partially done. I always finish them after everything. So we're just going to start with the contouring. Now, what I'm going to show you is going to be quite exaggerated because I'm going to show you different tips and tricks of what you can do to create an instant facelift. So I always use my Anastasia Beverly Hills in mink. This is the perfect color. So this is what you're going to do. Okay, you're just going to go here along the forehead. You're going to stop at the top of your ear, and you're going to bring it down, and you're going to scoop it up where the center of the eye is. Okay. Now the trick is not to go below the nose. Keep this like an imaginary line there, because the minute you bring the line down further, it's going to drag the face down. So I'm going to do the other side. Stop at the top of the nose. I'm going to bring it down, and I'm going to scoop it up around where the eye is. Okay, now it's very exaggerated because this is just for demonstration purposes. If you have a large forehead, shorten it. If you don't do it. I'm going to fix my nose. If you have, you have a larger nose, you want to make it look slimmer, you bring it down the side. If you don't bother. If your nose is too long, you want to make it shorter, just do a little V here. If your nostrils are too large, put a little bit of contouring around the nostrils. If you've got, larger, the front of your nose is a little bit larger, just put a little contour there. You want to enhance your upper lip, just add a contour line right where your Cupid's bow is, right there. You want to enhance the bottom lip, there you go. If you've got those jowls here, I don't have them, but you can just contour there. And then contour, I always just contour on the jowls here. I don't go all the way around. It's just, when you contour, just contour what is necessary. Now I use the angled brush because it's a nice dense brush, but another great brush is the Real Techniques one, the angled one. This is fabulous. And I'm going to show you how you can layer your powders. And now keep in mind, I have very dry skin, and I layer my powders no problem. And okay, so we're blending that in. Okay. Down here, because you're going to have to put powder afterwards to set all your creams. And it also will set your foundation. But a lot of women are afraid of using loose powder, translucent powder, because they find that it sits on the skin. I'm going to show you how to do that. No, actually, this is easier. You're doing it on yourself, go down. Go down the nose with your fingers. It's very easy, unless you prefer using a brush. And same here, it's just easier. So now you want to go in with powder, and I just realized I left my my beauty blender. Do I have another beauty blender? Oh, I don't have. Oh, hold on. I have to go get my beauty blender. Hold on. I will be right back with you in a moment. Don't go away. I have my beauty blender. So you'll notice that my face is lifted a little bit from the contouring. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my YSL. You can use any translucent powder, but this is the one I'm using now. And I'm taking my damp beauty blender, and I dampen it with the Clos de Lis grape water, and I'm dipping my damp beauty blender in the powder. And now I'm going to press the powder in, and you're going to see it's going to look a little bit. At first, you may be in shock, but you just keep pressing, and that will not only help with the longevity of your makeup, but also by pressing it in, it's not going to sit on the top of your skin. So that's the key to being able to work with a loose powder. I love using a loose powder because it sets my makeup. Because I need a 12-hour, minimum 12-hour wear, this just keeps everything in place. So just by dabbing it in. Now, if you want a little bit of luminosity, you're going out at night, you can always, I'm just bringing out this Lancome. This, it's called the Absolute powder, and this one's got a bit of a glow to it. Now, let's say I wanted to have a little bit of glow, but I find it's too much of a glow. I dip it into I would dip it in here first, here first, just to have a little bit of glow, but then I would dip it into my other translucent powder, just to tone it down. And let's say I just want it, just the glow here. I could do that, just keeping the targeted areas that I want the glow to be on. So you notice there's a little bit more of a glow here. I don't normally do this, but I just wanted to show for demonstration purposes that you can do that without it being over the top. I can just kind of pat that in and get a little bit of extra glow just there. Without having that all over disco ball glow, you can just enhance your features just by adding that. So that's a little trick. So that's contouring with cream. Now, if you're contouring with powder, I'm going to show you right now. This is really overdoing it. I wouldn't do all of this in a day. But my powder of choice is the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder. This is the best sculpting powder as far as I'm concerned. And you're going to take a brush like one of these contour brushes. And the key to contouring with powder is you start again at the top of the ear, but do not bring it past sort of the end of your eye. Try to keep it really localized there, because the minute you go lower, again, it drags the face down. So I'm just going to put a little bit here, and then I'm going to take my other contour brush, which is my MAC. I love this one. You do the fish face, and you just blend it out a little bit. And again, you're not going to have the harsh lines, because after your makeup is all done, you're going to add a finishing powder. So, and I will show you. So we're just going to go like this. And I'm going to just bring this down here, not too much, because, by the way, you can put contour right here, and that will hide that double chin if you have. Just put it down underneath your chin. Just run it around there. And then I'm just going to take a little small brush. I'm going to have everything listed below. And yeah, the finishing powder is just going to marry all the makeup together. So you're not going to have any of the harsh, the demarcation lines. Want to warm up the face a little bit, so I'm going to add a little bit of a bronzing powder, and I'm using my Too Faced Golden. The smell of this is just divine. Oh, and I'm just going to warm it up a little bit. And then what I do is I bring it down here. Of course, I had to be wearing white, right? My honey gave me this robe for Valentine's Day. It's so comfy. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, so we've got a little bit of warming up to do. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to marry everything with the finishing powder. And my favorite finishing powder is my MAC, the Mineralized Skin Finishes. I love these, and I use my IT brush. And I buff it. So it gets rid of any of the harsh lines you might have. There we go. And then last but not least, we got to do a little bit of powdering under the eyes. I'm using my Hourglass Dim Light. That will just brighten up that whole area. I just bring it down like this. And we're going to add a little bit of pop of blush as well, just to warm up the face here. I'm just going to go down here. And the blush I'm using is, I love these ombre blushes by It. I'm using this one is Sugar Plum. Do I have my blush brush? Yes, I do. And I'm going to show you what you can do with your blush as well. I always bring it up to the temple. I like that. There we go. Now, if you find that your blush is a little bit bolder, you can put it underneath your finishing powder. This one is more of a highlighting blush. I put it over, but you can put it underneath. Or if you find that you need to tone it down, you take your beauty blender and you just go like this. And that is it, my friends. I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup off camera, and I will come back and we'll chat a little bit more, and you'll see the entire finished look. So, see you in a bit. Have another cup of coffee. I'll be right back. All done up. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. I will get back to you. I did say that I was going to talk to you about lazy eyes, how to fix lazy eyes, and I'm going to have to do a separate video on that because that is quite long. But one of the things that you have to do, I'm going to let you know so that you can just practice, is that if you have a lazy eye, chances are, with gravity, with age, you're going to end up with one eyebrow looking significantly higher than the other. And what you want to do is make them look pretty well equal. Not twins, just pretty well equal. And what I recommend, and you'll see once you have your eyebrows kind of on an even keel, it lifts the eyes a little bit. And what I recommend is my tried and true, and I have tried several of them, are the Anastasia Beverly Hills stencils. Now I'll tell you why, because here's the trick. These stencils have different types of arches. You've got high arch, you've got slim high arch, you've got full arch. But what's neat about these stencils, and I don't know if you can see, but it's like cuts off right in the center. And then, so when you go to fill it out, you can just fill out the top. So what I recommend you do, and what I do, is I end up using a stencil with a full arch for my left eye, for my right eye, that is significantly lower and lazier. So I will use the full arch on this one, and then I will use a sort of a slim arch on this one. So I'll use two different, and what I do is I just fill out the first portion of it, and I love the Anastasia the dip pomade. This is the best one for me. It's creamy, it's easy to work with. I've tried several of them, but this is my go-to. And my go-to brush is also by Anastasia, and it's the number, I think the number 12. Anyhow, but I will just fill in just the top part. Then I remove the stencil, and then what I do is I either go in with a pencil or a powder. So that just completes the look. If you try that, give it a try. It's going to take practice. The other thing too is that if you have a lazy eye, the eye that is lazy, when you go to do the crease, you have to do your eyes differently. You're gonna bring your crease a little higher than you would the other eye, much like people that have hooded eyes have to create a crease. You're just gonna have to play with it. That's what you have to do. There's some tips for you to maybe want to try at home. I will do another video on that. And before I go, I need to wish a very happy birthday to a very dear friend of mine, my Marta Laura Zayas. It is her birthday this week. Happy birthday, my beautiful Marta. If you don't know who she is, I'm going to put a link to her channel. Go over, say hello, wish her a happy birthday for me. She's got a great channel, and she's just so full of peace and love and fashion and all that good stuff. So happy birthday, Marta. And on that note, I want to wish you all a fabulous day. And what does Natalie tell you? Natalie tells you when you look at yourself in the mirror, Natalie tells you you're beautiful. Because you know what? You are. You're beautiful inside. The rest is just decoration. Play with your makeup, face of the day, and the outfit. Everything will be down below. Je vous embrasse de Montréal. Soyez prudents, soyez belles et à la prochaine. Au revoir.